the post-it drawings do look so much cooler than any digital drawing will ever look, but it is a lot of work. I remember my forearm was just like constantly inflamed for like 2 years, just because you're just doing like tiny little drawing movements like constantly. Whereas like this is really getting into the weeds with drawing, but like on the Cintiq, you can really it's a lot healthier for you, I think.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Regular Show Wiki interviews, celebrating the release of the new series, Regular Show The Lost Tapes. Today's guest is a storyboard artist who worked on the original series from season 7 to 8, boarding 14 episodes up to the finale. He has since returned to board for The Lost Tapes with the episodes Napspot, Boba or Bobust, and Corpse Flower. Everybody, please welcome Alex Cline.
Hello. Happy to be here.
We'll start from the very beginning. Going back, what was the initial thing that made you want to work in animation?
Gosh. I mean, I guess I've always wanted to. It's kind of a cop-out answer, but I've always drawn. I remember going to Disney and seeing animators behind the glass, like working on Emperor's New Groove and being like, that seems like a really cool thing to do. And I remember seeing like behind the scenes footage of like Nickelodeon production artists, and then getting into school, be like realizing that you could get like healthcare doing animation, and being like, yeah, that seems like a legit job. I'll do that. And I really responded to shows like Flapjack and Chowder. I was doing a lot of illustration work at the time, and their shows really like were very similar to like a lot of watercolor work I was doing. So I gravitated to a lot of the Cartoon Network stuff. So I was, yeah, very, very adamant about trying to get on a Cartoon Network production whenever I moved to LA.
And so, I mean, how did you get into the industry then?
Yeah, I went to school in Tennessee. I went to a University of Tennessee, and we didn't have an animation program, so I just made my own path. I just did a little film, kind of similar to how like CalArts or RISD kind of has like a final film at the end of the year. There was a guy named Joel Trussell who went to my college, and like a lot of professors knew him, and so they put me in contact with him out here. He worked at Disney at the time. So right before I moved out, I showed him my film, and he responded to my work, and he sent it to a studio he worked at the time, or like right before, called 6 Point Harness, which was a small studio. I think it's still, yeah, they're still going. But I got foot in the door there, working on a show called Cosmos, which was like a reboot of the old Carl Sagan science-y show, with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and that was like my first like snowbally type job. I met some people there, and then after that job, a lot of people on that production went on to work on Bojack, and so I got a job on Bojack doing character rig and design work, and after that was then my job on regular show.
So, I mean, let's talk a bit about that. How did you get onto regular show?
Yeah, I did the kind of traditional thing, the testing process. I talked to a recruiter named Brooke Kiesling, who was reaching out to a bunch of different people. I think she found my comics that I was posting, and I took a test. I think I had to test twice for that production, but yeah, it was just like traditional testing, which you do it's they give you like a sample outline of an episode, and you just board like uh, just like one beat of it, and then they do like a joke pass where it's like, this is Mordecai and Rigby with like little speech bubbles, and you write it in, and then it's like, now make it funnier, and then it's like there's like a bunch of little like uh, gag test things you have to do, and I did that, and I didn't hear anything for like 9 months. So I was just like, yeah, I guess I didn't get it. And then one day, out of the blue, I heard from their production team, and yeah, I had a heart attack. But yeah, it was great.
Of course, your board partner on the original series was Maddie. Can you talk a bit about what it was like working with her?
With Maddie. Maddie's great. Maddie's still one of my great friends. I learned pretty much everything about storyboarding from Maddie. We split everything down the middle. We wrote everything together. It was super collaborative. We had TV on in the background all day long. We were just like joking around, palling all day long. She can draw like crazy. She was like I think in college, she was a caricature artist at the Mall of America. So she just has like those chops in her. But yeah, I really look up to Maddie.
And on the new series, you are boarding with Monty Bray.
I'm actually not working on the new series anymore. I only did 3 episodes. I'm just freelancing on other projects now.
So your episodes are out now.
Yeah, they've aired now.
Okay.
Yeah. Monty's great too. It was awesome. It's weird. I was sort of put in like the veteran position, but Monty was just as experienced as I am, just has been on other productions. It was just like I had been working on regular shows, so I kind of knew the drill. But yeah.
So your first episode was the Parkie Awards, which absolutely love. I'm a big Benson fan. So naturally, I think I am naturally inclined to any Benson episodes, but that one especially, like, it's very heartwarming.
It's nice when they're like on the side of Benson, like when it's not like Benson versus the guys, it's like everyone is like together with Benson.
Probably say my top three of the episodes you boarded would be Parkie Awards again, Sleep Cycle, and Can You Ear Me Now, which I feel like is an episode people don't talk about that much.
Yeah, courtrooms can be tough, but yeah, I feel like we did have a lot of fun with that one. It also has like a lot of flashbacks to other characters from like past episodes too, which is kind of fun.
Well, before you started working on the show, how aware were you of regular show?
Oh, I watched it from the beginning. I mean, I remember in college, I watched both Adventure Time and regular show day one. I hadn't seen like every single episode of regular show. Like there were a couple that I had still missed, but yeah, I remember watching it air and being like, this is a pretty special show. I don't think I was like following board artists like some people online were, but yeah, I remember like getting the job and then getting online and some people were like following the artists like they were celebrities and I was like, this is crazy. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. It was just another one of the Cartoon Network shows that's just like it's beautiful. It's got like cool energy. It's just it's very exciting to watch.
So, I mean, I imagine it must have been quite surreal for that to end up being. I think that was your first gig at Cartoon Network, right?
Yeah, I was like, it was kind of like a 1-2 punch where I was like very excited and then kind of panicky afterwards, being like, oh my God, I actually have to do this now.
Onto the new series, Boba or Bobos, I think, is one of my favorite episodes. I think within the regular show fandom, it has quite quickly grown to be like a cult classic.
Yeah, I liked that one a lot, mostly because The Mask was like my favorite movie when I was a kid. Every time we went to Blockbuster, I made my parents check that movie out. So, like, yeah, Jim Carrey's The Mask was just cult classic to me. So it was like pretty not easy to make that episode, but it just felt like natural, I guess.
I've got the mask on VHS.
That's amazing.
It's one of the few VHS tapes that I still own.
Is the VHS green? I hope it's green.
Uh, Unfortunately, not. It's just a
Uh,
standard
it's a
black
missed
tape.
opportunity.
But I am currently trying to work on making my own like regular show tape.
Oh yeah, that was the crew gift they gave everyone like lost tapes.
Do the tapes have anything on them?
I don't know.
Like a few people have posted pictures of the tapes, and I was like, it would be really cool if like they had just all the episodes on there.
Yeah,
Another episode, which obviously can't go unmentioned, that you did work on was the finale.
yeah. Me and Maddie boarded the first chunk. I forget how far up until we stopped, but it was like them setting up the traps. So it's like anti-Pops is like arriving. He's like in the Uber, space Uber, whatever. He like hits a space deer or whatever, and they're like prepping for like the big battle. I liked everything kind of getting meta. There was like post-it stuff happening in that where they like turn into drawings, which was kind of cool.
I mean, I want to ask, like, who's your favorite character to board for?
Probably I like Pops. I like how goofy he is. Maybe that's I feel like maybe a lot of people would say that, but yeah, he's just maybe I relate to him a little bit, but yeah, he's very silly. I I don't know that I feel like a bro like how a lot of the other characters are a little slightly broy. Pops is slightly more effeminate and slightly just silly, you know?
I have got a little Pops. Yeah.
Oh, his teeth are terrifying.
He looks a bit traumatized by something,
He
but
looks like the withered Pops from Boba a little bit. Maybe, I said I like writing for Pops, but I don't really feel like I'm Pops. Like I don't feel like I give off like that like easygoing Pops energy quite so much, but I like want to be that as much as I like yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like really everybody should aspire to be Pops because he's like I think he's pretty much established in the original series to be like the pure embodiment of goodness and positivity.
He's like Jesus Christ.
So we've spoken about like your favorite characters. I'm curious to know what are some of your favorite episodes that you've done, and what are some of your favorite episodes just from the show in general?
I mean, I feel like I'm pretty happy that one of my favorite episodes I've gotten to do was Boba, which just came out, and Sleep Cycles. I liked that episode a lot. That was really fun. I really liked that like that like Mario Kart track was really cool. Like anytime there's like cool action stuff. I'm not really known for action, but it was like cool to like try that stuff out. I liked the graduation day episode a lot. That was really sweet. Yeah, just felt like a nice next step for regular show was like really sweet Rigby and Eileen stuff and yeah, great character development. That I remember when they like were pinning stuff up, it was like that was like two board artist teams and it was like post-its like all around the room. So it was also like us following the feather all around the room too. It was a very exciting pitch. I remember we were all just like we left the room being like greatest episode ever.
I do remember, can't remember who it was that posted it, but it was for, I think for like Exit 9B or something. Somebody shared a video just of the whole pitch room just being completely like a 360 of
Yeah.
post-its.
That was a cool episode too. I remember when I saw that in college, maybe, or late after college, I forget. But I remember being like, this is the next step for regular show.
More than that, next step for animation.
Yeah. Even if like an outline there's like stuff not working, everyone on the crew is so funny that they put a lot of effort into making it come out on top. So every episode was still pretty great. I think some of the lore stuff I kind of struggle with sometimes because I feel like I really like the like just like a regular show episode, you know? Some people probably get really excited about like when episodes are starting to build up to like some finale, but I think the episodes are strongest when it's like day in the life of Mordecai and Rigby.
You can just tune in, having not seen any prior episodes, and fully get what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. Each character can kind of come in, come out, and like they shine the best that way without having to like service the plot to like come in and like say some when their lines have to be delivered in order to like make the plot move forward.
Like going back to what you said about Sleep Cycle, I think a lot of people responded to that being like, this feels like classic regular show. There's also, I mean, you were saying about the Mario Kart kind of track. I'm not sure how aware you are, but there is technically a regular show racing game, Dimensional Drift. It was on the Cartoon Network website, and it was like a 3D game. Like it wasn't even a Flash game. I wish that maybe they could have updated it and added that sleep cycle track.
I know someone recently has like brought back the old Cartoon Network games site as like a historical website. So maybe it's on there.
What would you say that you bring to regular show? Because every board artist, I feel like, injects a bit of their own personality into the show. What would you say that your addition is to the series?
It's been so long since I've like written a lot of regular show episodes. Um, maybe like a different angle for the guys than like what they typically are, like less of a maybe like a more of a sincere angle or something like that than just like let's play punchies type guys, because I'm not really like a guy's guy, I do like those episodes that are like a little bit more introspective.
I'm curious to know if there's any jokes from the episodes you've done which maybe had to get cut either because of time or standards and practices.
I don't, I'm sorry. I wish I did.
I mean, that being said, um, I feel like there were a few jokes in Boba or Bobust that really shocked me to be like, oh, we're back to like early regular show levels of humor.
Lots of balls jokes. That was not me, I will say. That was definitely in the outline. All the balls stuff was in the outline.
When Benson first shouted out, "Why are there balls in my mouth?" I literally, I don't think I've ever been killed like so much by a joke in regular show before. I literally spat my drink out. I had to stop. I had to pause it for like 10 minutes to be just to gather myself back together.
Yeah, that's just like Benson when he like vomits up the boba.
Yeah,
Do you know the meme that that episode's based on? There's a video of this guy he's like obsessed with boba and like he's like talking about how he's already had like a whole thing of boba like that morning, and then he takes like a huge swig of boba and then like projectile vomits basically.
Oh, god damn it. I'm out of fuel. Anyways, milk tea is so good. She said I had to try the babas in it this time, so I had the little, she said to shake it, and I think they're supposed to dissolve. But I'm obsessed. You just poke a hole in it. Oh my god, I choked on something!
But that's what the writers like made the whole video or the whole episode about.
again, it's one of my favorites. And again, like the mask references, for some reason I didn't pick up on it the first time.
Yeah, it's not like a one-to-one mask thing, which is kind of great, but it's like it's there. It's like peppered in.
I feel like it would have been a lot more like on the nose if for some reason Boba Casanova turned green.
I know. Yeah, he couldn't do that. He couldn't be green.
What are some of your favorite behind the scenes like memories of working on the show, whether it be the original or the lost tapes?
Honestly, it's just probably going to lunch with all my friends. Like we had the best time just going to Jersey Mike's near the old Cartoon Network building, just like walking through the mall just to get to old Jersey Mike's. Yeah, that or like playing ping pong on the roof. I just miss that old Cartoon Network building so much. Um, that new building's not the same. Yeah, I don't know. That's like the nostalgia talking, but yeah, it was a really special place.
I've heard a lot about just like the regular show lunches. I was in LA a few months back, and on the day before I left, I made my way up to Burbank to see the old Cartoon Network building. It had like a big banner over where the Cartoon Network logo was, and it just like says Hollywood Production Center. And like that just I felt a part of me die inside. It also did feel special to like be where it was. This is where my childhood was formed, basically.
Yeah, I almost have to look away every time I drive by there. I mean, animation is more than just that building, but it really was just like a really cool space. Like I wish there were more hub studios that are like that, that are indie, that aren't just like conglomerate like network buildings that are just eating up studios like that. Yeah. Like Titmouse is a cool building. I really like that place. That's an awesome space. But yeah, we need more.
I know that when Cartoon Network shut down, that Calvin Wong had like did that whole project with the stairwell.
Yeah, I think that still exists somewhere on the internet.
Like I spent just like a whole day just like browsing through it. Was there any sort of like major difference between how you'd work between the original show and the new show?
Um, no, not really. It felt like it was surprising how similar everything felt. Like JG was just as sharp, if not sharper. I mean, it was also like the combo of JG and Sean Zellis being there. I look up to both of them so much. I know maybe like some of the animation style might be different, but I've seen some of it come back and I think it looks great. Um, yeah, I don't know. Everything was so funny still. It was just felt like just like a blast from the past still.
And what about your work on like other Cartoon Network shows? I know you've worked on Summer Camp Island and Apple and Onion.
I feel like it's always just like slightly different shades of similar format. I did do board driven on both of those shows. I feel like there was a lot of writing in the outlines for Summer Camp Island, which was nice. Very different tone, that's for sure. Loved working on that show. Yeah, Julia Pott was great. Nick Edwards was my board partner. It was a great time, just in a very different way. Like the whole crew was just a whole different type of artist. I don't know. Hard to put my finger on. But yeah, we were like pitching jokes still, do like splitting everything down the middle. No, actually, that's not true. I think when I was working on summer camp, me and Nick like took our sections and like it wasn't quite as like we wrote everything together, but we did still like come together and put our stuff on the walls, and it was still like board driven, very similar to how we did on regular show.
Like some of the early episodes of the Lost Tapes have been also done like on post-its. But I know that generally,
I think it switched pretty quickly. I think everyone kind of realized that the Cintiq way is like so much quicker, and it looks really nice, and it's like very charming to do on the post-it, but once you get to the cleanup stage, yeah, it's really nice to be able to reuse drawings and stuff.
so were all your episodes done with Cintiq?
Yeah, I remembered I still have all of my drawings from seasons 7 and 8, and I've since from regular show done everything in Storyboard Pro, and it's just I prefer it that way, even though I really like having those posted drawings. It's just I think it's better for production in the long run. There is just like that temptation to have like runway drawings where you start to animate things and things can get like a little too flourishy with your drawings. You have to be very careful not to do that. But there is like a fine line with your storyboards where I feel like it can kind of behoove you to work digitally over post-its. Post-it drawings do look so much cooler than any digital drawing will ever look, you know? But it is a lot of work. I remember my forearm was just like constantly inflamed for like 2 years, just because you're just doing like tiny little drawing movements like constantly, you know. Whereas like this is really getting into the weeds with drawing, but like on the Cintiq, you know, you can really it's a lot healthier for you, I think.
Obviously, you have worked in quite a few different roles, like beyond just storyboard artist. I was wondering if you were asked to come back to regular show again, but under a different role that you've previously taken on, what kind of role do you think you'd be interested in undertaking for regular show?
Good question. Um, I wouldn't mind doing design. Design seems nice. I would do maybe another episode. I don't know that I would want to do another season of of episodes. I like design a lot. Design's pretty nice. It feels pretty in line with my skills.
Who would you say, just for any of the artwork that you've done, who are some of your biggest inspirations for doing the work that you do?
Who do I look up to these days? I mean, I really like I like what Mike Judge does. I feel like that one's kind of I feel like most people would say Mike Judge. So maybe that one's a little too obvious. There's a lot of great Joes online making animation. Joe Kappa, Joe Bennett, Joe Pera, all those guys. I like the naturalistic animation thing. I think that's really cool. I got into comics early in college and was like looking at people like Michael DeForge. Um, yeah, no, and then like Penn Ward. Wow, that's a lot of guys. uh, I'll say Amy Lockhart. She's cool.
For anybody out there who might want to be a storyboard artist or a like character designer or anything, for anyone that wants to work in the animation industry, what advice would you give to them?
I would say make your own work that has a voice. Um, watch stuff, get excited about stuff, make a portfolio that only showcases the best pieces. That's not a very good, that's very basic advice. For me, I guess what worked was I made a short film. I feel like a short film or making comics is like a pretty good way to like break in because I feel like it showcases like storytelling skills and drawing skills, and it's like unique to your POV. You know what I mean? So like either making a short film or like an animatic without animating every single little thing. It's like a nice way to show people that like you have like a point of view, and then maybe also make some pieces of like if you're doing like character design, maybe comics could help with that too, but like yeah, doing like some traditional like turnarounds would be helpful too as well. Unfortunately, most of the work is here in LA, so you have to probably move to either New York or LA. Go to events. I think that's pretty helpful. Meet and greets. Like, there's a lot of great screenings here in LA. Try and get your work seen around LA or if you have screenings nearby.
Basically, move to
Yeah,
LA.
sorry. That's what I did. I know a lot of work is remote now, but you still have to like meet people, and a lot of people are out here. So, and they're still gonna hire like within union a lot of these jobs, and I think a lot of union jobs do require you to be here. I think that's becoming less and less so, but I think it helps to like meet people around here. It's also like the kind of thing where like you might get a job if you're in like Minnesota, and then you don't have that job, and then you're like less likely to get another job. But if you're like here in LA and you get a job that runs for like 3 or 4 months, then you might meet someone else at another party. Then you're like more likely to continue stacking up jobs. You know what I mean?
We're reaching towards the end of the interview now, but I would just like to ask, is there anything that you've been working on that's aside from the lost tapes that's recently come out or that's maybe coming up that you'd like to come out?
Everything is NDA and like little pilots right now. We're in a season of like development, so yeah, nothing is really on its way out right now, unfortunately. So hopefully, fingers crossed.
Watch the space.
Yeah.
And I mean, if people want to find out more about those projects, where can they find you on social media?
Alex Cline Art on Instagram. My website's alexklineart.com. Yeah.
Well, Alex, thank you very much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you once again to Alex Cline for joining us for this interview. If you want to check out some more of his work, then don't forget to follow him across social media at Alex Cline Art. All of his links will be in the description. Next time, we'll be speaking to Chogrin, who is credited in the show as Joseph Game and was a model cleanup artist for seasons 5 to 8 of the original series. Here's a preview.
We went on the back of Cartoon Network and it was like a photo shoot of JG like in midair with like the keyboard. And then they were like, here's the photo of JG. Can you add Mordecai and Rigby like, playing? So I think JG did a sketch, and so then I had to like clean it up and then do the color and then like implement both Mordecai and Rigby and JG all playing together.